easy. Renato did not trust rocks that talked in his head. He went onwards. This couldn't be good for global warming.
There we go. Well then. Let's try to redeem ourselves with that. Over here. Thank you.
As he approached the core, the stone became hysterical. No, it's too much power. We'll rip a hole in space and time. He had a sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fears, hadn't it? He had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. And then he passed out. When Renato came to, the core was gone. But the Iblis stone was no longer black, but glowing with a blue light. And it was silent. "I can't hear you," he sang out. And, "You?" It didn't answer. "Ha!" he said. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind. He felt invincible. It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he? As the Farfarer made its way toward the Nexus, Renato watched sparks fly out of the core. The Iblis stone sucked them in hungrily. You'd think the stone would want this kind of power, wouldn't it? Thought Renato. Well, the scientists would explain it all. This time, Renato was sure he'd figured out how to use the core safely.
Well, technically we are missing a part here. Yeah.
See? He'd trusted his gut, and it had worked out. That's what it meant to be a hero. To ignore the naysayers and the oddmakers, and do what you knew was right, and have it turn out to be the right thing. Well, he wasn't worried. Once he got to the observatory, the scientist toads could explain it. Then he could carry the war into the enemy's camp and destroy them all. Oh dear, he was getting a little bloodthirsty, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah. Bam! Break everything.
It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects.
I don't know. Some of these things do seem quite evading. What do we have in here? So now I'm regenerating my focus with the stone, most likely not my health anymore, which is kinda crappy. I'd prefer the health one. Oh well, beggars can be choosers. Oh, actually I still do have to get hit points. Over here. What the hell's happening? What? What's going on?
A present? For me?
Energy on kill level 2. Nah. At school we learned the gospel of the goddamn, I know this word! Transcendent Emperor. The last divinity to pierce the skies. He would banish the evil gods and grant us gift of time. But could one man, divine as he may be, create something as intricate as time? I have my own theory. I believe that time is symptom rather than a gift. I am convinced that the cosmic scale there is a pendulum motion between order and chaos. The Transcendent Emperor ended chaos and started the new age we live in. An age of cause and effect, of fact and logic. Time is merely a tapestry upon which these laws manifest themselves. Or is it the foundation for the order's companion, entropy? But in the age of chaos, when the old gods reign, perception carries more weight than facts. Emotion can shape the world and time cease to exist. The age of order is ending. I am merely helping the inevitable. Entropy has been broken. Fate has been breached. The end of time is coming and I shall embrace it. Emperor Isengrim III, Secret Journal. That he just left here. For some reason.
Bernardo wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Well, who knows? Maybe. Whee! Observatorio. Hi guys. Booyah!
Bernardo had never felt better in his life. Normally, a battle would wear him down and he would need a night's sleep. Now he felt like he could go all night and all day. He felt like people were cheering him on and he could practically hear their applause as he slew one raven after another.
Well, I'm a hero, baby. What's the point of that thing over there? Huh. Where the hell am I going? What? What?
The Imperial fleet was closing in on the rebels, forcing them to come out and fight. Bernardo was itching to bring the fight to the enemy. He had to remind himself not to be too reckless.
The
The platform used a hybrid propulsion system fueled by anti-gravity and wishful thinking.
Huh. I seem to be missing something here. Such as the ground to walk on. Ow. Bang! Fuck! Fuck you, Warlock!
Welcome to Earth. Renato told the corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
Huh. Whoop. Still lacking from upgrading the rest of the sword, but who cares? I'm not even using them. Why would I use them? I have my flame sword. Hey guys!
The toads at the observatory measured the stone with their occult devices. I fed it the core of Sky Ripper, explained Renato. No more feed me blood and souls. But the core is not an unlimited energy source, said one toad. Another said, there's a feedback loop, you see, which could overload the stone. The stone doesn't actually feed on souls, claimed a third, but on pain of killing another sentient being. If you can truly be at peace with yourself, it would not overload.
This was all very confusing. At peace? Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but he now had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council and prepare for the decisive battle.
Nah, we will meditate.
The one thing he understood from all the toad arguments, maybe the stone did not feed on blood, or souls, or rage. It fed on empathy. It fed on the pain he felt when he put an end to another being's existence. Even if that other being was a raven intent on killing him. If he could find peace, then he could use the power of the Iblis stone without being taken over by its evil.
Yes, that was the way to defeat the Iblis stone.
The mountains. He would go to the mountains. He could find peace there.
Well, we'll go to the mountains then, to meditate. I mean, why not?
Unfortunately, the mountains were not empty. There were ravens everywhere. No matter. He had to fight, yes, but he didn't have to be angry. Parry, dodge, slash, and breathe. Yes, focus on the rhythm, the dance of it, not on the blood or the raven's core as they died. Ah, it was working. He wasn't feeling those dark jolts of eldritch energy. He wasn't feeding the Iblis stone.
Well then.
Where'd all the ravens go? The live ones, I mean.
Well, I kinda blew them all up, so my bad. Sorry. I've been there already, haven't I? No, actually I have not. Whoop! I didn't have this sword back then.
You never knew where the road would take you, thought Renato.
Well, that's kinda true. Unless you know exactly where you are going, then you know. Whoop! Whoop! Get in there. Whoop! Ah! Blue pumpkins, my favorite. And you. Still not enough to upgrade even a
This
single
is
sword.
quite the view, he thought.
Get fucked.
The stone was still silent. His mind was his own, and his heart too. He bore them no ill will, these ravens. They were doing their job. They were expressing their nature. Dance, whirl, parry, jab, and flee. It was all so simple, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have
Something
become
was
the...
missing. He didn't feel truly at peace. Wait. Wasn't this near where Calaveras lived? The sage would help him figure it all out.
You're missing something from your
He
heart.
wished there were more
No.
pylons he could use the hook on. They really needed to construct additional pylons.
Oh, come on! My love for indie games is purely based on the memes.
Ravens didn't smell any better dead, Renato thought.
Well, that would be kinda... Shield breaker level 2. Oh joy. I wonder how useful that thing really is. Give me that shield. Well, I fucked up that. But it happens. We'll just go and see the old toad.
Renato had been the terror of the sandcastles when he was 2.
Well, that's not something I'd be too proud of. I mean, sandcastles are very delicate things, and some people take them way too seriously. There are these sandcastle building competitions I really don't understand. I mean, come on. Whee! Whee!
The Iblis Stone, silenced by the Sky Ripper's core, had given Renato enough power to challenge the Imperial fleet. But what Renato was seeking was inner peace. The rebellion was on the verge of extinction, but it would have to wait.
Indeed. Hey guys, you just wait there. Ultimate skill unlocked. Toad!
At the end of the mountain path, he found the wise Calaveras in his workshop. Do you fix souls or only artifacts? He asked the sage. Does your soul need fixing? Asked the sage. I've been killing a lot of ravens lately, he told the sage. You're a fox, said Calaveras. To kill birds is part of your nature. You should take joy in it. I mean, I might as well worry about eating flies. Would you like a fly? It was true. That's what he had forgotten.
The joy of
The
killing.
joy. Now he was ready for the final battle. The Farfarer cut through the clouds.
Was it the wolf?
The air had never felt sweet since he was a
Oh.
child.
Oh!
There it was.
Okay, I get
The
it.
dreaded Imperial fleet. He could smell wet hemp ropes ahead, wood and tar, and ravens. Even the fleet smelt good, somehow. He was ready.
He was ready.
So he's not supposed to feel bad about killing them or the stone feeds on him. He's supposed to feel joy about killing them. And then the stone is powerless. What the fuck kind of sense does that make? This game is awesome. I love it. Definitely one of my favorite games.
Renato had it all squared away
I played
in his
this
head.
year.
He would kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That was a secret, but the victims had spoken to Renato. The ghosts had spoken. No. No anger. Renato could not afford anger. It was empowering the crystal in his sword. That made him stronger, but it clouded his mind. He would not be a hero. A hero strives. Renato would just be one with everything. The Emperor would die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without rancor, without sorrow, without pain.
Okay, well I guess that works. Although I'm slightly disappointed to one thing, and that is that I wanted my boss battles. They are important. Oh! Hopped on board.
Oh, they really ought to put a railing on this thing, he thought.
Come on then. Let's go.
But the more he thought about it, and he had so much more time to think about it now that he was not worrying about the battle, killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place. Perhaps Zenobia. Perhaps the Speaker of the Rebel Council, and power would corrupt them too, and death would make grief, and grief would lead to hatred. He must lead by example. Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how?
It's simple. We kill the Batman. By becoming the master of sword food.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
Well, technically. I guess.
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens.
Path of
Path
Enlightenment.
to enlightenment.
Oh boy.
His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world.
The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too. They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples. No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and then chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Renado's head as it rolled around the deck and died. And he hadn't learned anything new this time. He'd done the same thing twice, yet expected a different outcome.
Technically, I didn't do the same thing. I don't need that. I just have to do one more thing.
There would be a way to win. Renado could feel it. He'd have to explore choices he'd never made before he could figure it all out, though. And with that, the book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again. And he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renado knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renado had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renado really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Oh boy. Well then, I think that's a good enough spot, if any, to call it quits for today. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe because there is more to come. And until next time, I am FinDragon, and Dragon out.